In this lesson, we will bring what we learned in the previous videos together on a clothed figure. So in the last lessons, we went over the external force of gravity, tension points, characteristics of fabric, and the influence of underlying forms. So we're now going to bring all these concepts together for the cowboy character that we're going to create. And along the way, we're going to also cover the 7 main fold shapes. So we're going to start off by analyzing the mannequin figure provided. So I'm just going to isolate this. And the first thing I want to do is locate where the tension points on the body are going to be. Now the tension points can also be referred to as landmarks. And identifying these on the body is going to help speed up the progress of creating these folds because you're no longer guessing as to where they are. So the main tension points on the body are going to be in the neck area, the shoulder, the elbows, wrists, rib cage, hips, crotch, knees, and ankles. So now that we have identified those, I'm just going to unhide the other meshes. And I went ahead and created these to speed things along. It's just very simple geometry with all quads. All I did was create cylinders and connect them together. And you can do this in any modeling package. So the first thing I want to do is fit these clothes onto the figure by using the move brush. So I'm going to hide some of these other layers and just focus on the shirt and the pants. So I'm going to switch to the subtool and go to my move brush. Make sure I have my X symmetry on. Make my brush big. And I'm just going to start nudging these areas to fit on the mesh. So I'm using a combination of the move brush, just nudging things around, and also pushing along its normal by holding down the Alt key. So if I hold down Alt, I can just push along the normal. So I just want to move these geometry around until it fits along on the figure. So I just want to cover up these shoulders. I want to cover up this upper back. And I want to make sure that everything is fitting on the body correctly. I also want to get rid of some of the blockiness. So you can see that this is pretty blocky right here in the sleeve area. So I just want to get rid of some of that and kind of come over here, bring this in a bit, and bring this out. I also want to pull up his sleeves a bit. He's going to have rolled up sleeves. So they're probably going to end somewhere around here. And just bring this in so it fits all around his forearm correctly. Bring that in. And just fix this line. And this looks like it's coming out a little too much right here. So I just want to move that in a bit, make sure that these areas are getting covered. And then next thing I want to do is just make sure that this collar is going around his neck and just hugging it. So make sure that this goes around in the back. And then these shoulders are still covered. And then bring this down. So, and then I just want to bring this shirt down a little bit. So I think that's about it for the shirt. I'm going to move on to the pants. So I just want to cover, actually make sure my X symmetry is on, and then cover up these thighs, and then bring this belt line down a little bit. And we're going to, as we go through these next videos, we're going to, tweak these proportions, again and again. So I'm not too worried about getting it exact. And then but I'm just trying to make sure that everything is sort of has its general shape and is in the general area. So I'm just going to nudge this around until it feels correctly. And go back to the shirt item, just push this in. And then go back to the pants, pull it out a little bit. So let's see, make sure that this is hugging his legs correctly. Make sure it's going over these boots. And I'm not too worried about some areas poking through the mesh because it's so low res. You know, some areas are going to poke through until it's subdivided further. So I'm just going to pull this down a little bit and probably go back to the pants and just bring these in just a little bit. So, and then I just want to go tweak these boots real quickly. Probably going to subdivide it just once, just to make sure. Oops, I want to make sure my X symmetry is on as well. And I just want to make sure that these are covering up the feet. So, and then also that the pants are coming down and hitting these boots correctly. So I next want to move on to the vest. So I'm just going to turn the vest layer on, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn X symmetry on this subtool as well, and just push along normal and give the feeling that this vest is lying on top of his shoulders and are coming around correctly. I'm going to get rid of some of these straight lines and then bring this in a little bit. So, and also some of these sharp corners. So I just want to bring this up so it looks like it's rounding around his chest and then around to his back. And then I want to pull this out and then make sure that this line is going around his neck and the top of his back. So pull this out a little bit. So, and then just keep adjusting things until it looks correct. And then I just want to bring this in a little bit. Oh, a little too much. So now I sort of want to turn my attention to this poncho. So I just want to kind of just make sure it's covering his shoulders, top of his chest, shoulders up here, his back, and just make sure this is not intersecting with his arm. So I'm going to pull this back a little bit and then just tweak this line so it's coming straight down. And then there we go. So I think that's about it. Just to recap, we analyzed the figure to locate the tension points on the body, and then we blocked in the clothes using the move brush. So I'll see you in the next lesson.